We're live, yeah? People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whoever you are, wherever you are in this world. I know DG Nation is international. Now, apologies, people, my mic isn't exactly set. I'm all over the place. It's 11:30 over here in the UK. I don't know what time you guys are at, but I'm eating a toasty. Well, you couldn't see it, but I've got a cheese toasty. I've got my green tea, firmly getting into grips with Monday morning. It's the morning after the night before against Spurs. I'm sure you're all as deflated as I am. Now, for me, it's gone from bad to worse. I've actually tried to do my tactical review for you guys and the player ratings, and for some reason, Adobe keeps telling me that it's going to take 2-3 hours. So obviously, I tried to get them done and uploaded, or processed and uploaded, so when this live stream's finished, them ones can just get flying. But it isn't the case. But I hope you're all well and safe. I hope you're all doing well. You know, it's 11:30 on a Monday morning. I know some of you are working from home. Some of you are probably on the building site. Some of you are probably on the go for your jobs. Some of you probably looking after the children. Whoever you are, you know, good morning. I hope you're all doing well and safe. And I hope you're all moving closer towards whatever goals you've got for this week. And as we approach the end of the year, it's a time for self-reflection, you know, in terms of have we achieved our goals. Ironically, has Arsenal players, do they do that? Because if I'm any of these players now, Arteta's been here a year now. If I look at it and I say, have I improved a year from now? A year ago, was I a better player than I was now? Dramatically. And I don't think too many players can answer that. So it's time for the players. It's been time. I don't want to say, I'm going to sound like I'm just saying this, but it's been time for personal responsibility, for accountability, for just pride in your performance. I keep saying it. If these players haven't got any pride in themselves, how are they going to play for the club? How are they going to play for a bunch of strangers and fans? You know, how are they going to play for the gaffer? Because some of them have played under numerous gaffers. They probably think, well, you know, I'll probably last here longer than the gaffer. I've got 3-4 years left on my deal. This manager's, there's probably a year or so on Arteta's deal. I'm sure they have to talk about a new deal, and I'm sure he alluded to that. I don't want to go over the same things in relation to Spurs again, because I've spoken at length, but we lost that purely because of the same individuals making the same old individual errors, mentally not being switched on, not learning from previous mistakes, not actually doing your research on Spurs, which I can't imagine we didn't, but I have to say the players didn't, because you know Son is going to score. You know Kane is a danger man. You know in the midfield on the transition, you need to be smart. You cannot afford to get caught 4 versus 2 like for the second goal, or to get caught high up the field like Mr. Hector Bellerin for the first. You know, a lot of these players are hot and cold. A lot of them make poor decisions. And for Arteta, for me, the main thing I blame for him yesterday is starting Bellerin. Because, you know, it's got to a point, I'm not even looking at Bellerin. Bellerin, you know, he's made 5 foul throws. He's responsible for 5 out of the 16 foul throws in the Premier League. You know, professional footballer. We always talk about improvement and non-negotiables. Has nobody pulled him across and had a word and said, yo, listen, learn how to take a throw in? He's not picking himself, though. Why isn't Maitland-Niles there? Why isn't Cedric Soares there? After every Europa League game, you talk about them. I'm not saying Maitland-Niles is the best fullback ever. He's got his own problems. And Cedric Soares, I'm not necessarily fond of. But I heard you got to train well. You got to play well. There's non-negotiables. I'm not seeing it with Hector Bellerin. He looks the part. He talks the part. On the football field, there's no hiding places, and he fails. You started Xhaka. Now, we knew Xhaka was going to play. He didn't play in the Europa League. I would have liked to have seen El Nene. You look at Sissoko, you look at Højbjerg, you obviously got Lo Celso. Kane drops into that 10 position anyways. And how Jose was, like you saw, they were very narrow. You know, having them legs, being dynamic, we need that. You went against United, and I don't want to keep using that one, but you went against United against a similar dynamic midfield. You got a positive result with El Nene and Partey, and crucially, Xhaka out of the team. Why have you changed that? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, because you saw Xhaka lethargic, second best, caught high up the field. He's just a bad player. Do you know what? The only thing that would make Xhaka a good player is if he realized that he's extremely limited and said, okay, cool, I ain't got the legs to be up the field. Let me stay near my defense. When you've got a player who just makes errors, who has no personal awareness, who isn't consistent, these things happen. You know, you keep selecting players that are going to lose you your job. They're not fighting for you. You know, they scream comfortability. Xhaka has been inconsistent and polarized opinion since the moment that man came in the club. But for some reason, every manager's played him, so he must be showing something. Bellerin, since the age of 18 to now 25, who's he really had competition at right back to want him to improve? Who? When he first came on the scene, he had a point to prove, but he's comfy. You know, he's living the dream. Who has he got? There's three right backs now, and regardless of if Bellerin plays good or bad, he's still playing. So it doesn't make much sense to me. It really doesn't. Where are these guys looking over their shoulders and thinking I have to keep performing because things can get long, people? Apologies. It doesn't make sense. It's poor. It's not on. And like I said, green tea always slaps better when we lose. I can't lie. It always sobers me up. But we let ourselves down. It's the same old individuals, hot and cold. You know, if it's not Bellerin this week, it's Willian next week. We let ourselves down. I don't want to hear nothing about 44 crosses and the rest of it, because what did we get with it? You know, 44 crosses. How many actually found the target? Just like against Wolves, 36. 3 hit the target. 1 was an assist. Cool. But did you get anything? What did we do with possession? You didn't do nothing with possession. You know, possession is 9/10 of the law, but it's what you do with it. Possession is also a form of defense. So maybe if we retained the ball better, held on to the ball quicker, better, recycled it quicker, you know, that's a form of defense, because you're holding on to it. You're pulling them out of position. They don't know which way is the ball going to go. But we've got no ideas in the midfield. We've got poor technicians in the midfield as well. We've got no movement from anybody. It's suicide. And you go against a Jose side who is well structured, who defended and clearing your lines and 2 banks of 4 and being rigid and hard to break down and stuff. That's his speciality. And on top of what I've said, when you're playing slowly, you're playing into their hands and you're playing against us. What we're doing is a direct consequence. And I have to get at Arteta, because again, he's selecting personnel. The lack of tactics is down to him. He's been here 10 months. Let's not act like he hasn't. He's been here close to a year now. Let's not act like he hasn't had time. I know he's going to make mistakes, but what I wanted to see is him learn from these mistakes very quickly. He hasn't. People above him help him when you see him going another way. He hasn't. I have to question mark the people he's got around him, you know. He has to question mark I have to question the people he's got around him. It's another loss. But really, is that anything different to what I said against Wolves, or you would have said in the Wolves game, in the Villa game, in the Leicester game? Anytime Arteta's gone against a manager that's been at a team for a long period of time, or is worth their weight in gold in terms of being a tactician like Bielsa, like Nuno, like Jose, like Brendan Rodgers, he's failed the test. You know, he's beat couple managers, he's beat Klopp, he's beat Pep, he's beat Lampard. But this season, he's failed the test. You've beat Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. With all due respect, that's not an achievement. Beating Man United is beating Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And anytime he's gone against a credible manager who's tactical and knows his thing, he's failed it. Arteta is very reactive. So is it any surprise our team is reactive? And also when you look at the people above both the players and Arteta, they're very reactive. They're not proactive. Proactive approach is finding a house for Saliba to play this season if you feel he's not ready. Proactive is getting Partey in very early, getting a midfielder that does different things to Partey in very early, trying to make more of a push of getting people out. We're winging it. I hear we're well ahead of our planning for summer 2021. Arteta is working tirelessly to change things. Players are having team meetings to address the poor form. All of that effing propaganda means effort, because on the field, we're seeing a lack of that. We're seeing a lack of it. You know, you have to start asking, is Arteta's communicational channels getting the best of things? Because now I look at it, is he communicating what he wants to the squad good enough? For what I'm looking at now is why I'm onto him more. If you're starting Xhaka, Bellerin and Willian, for example, and they keep putting in clangers, does it not get to a point, people tell me if I'm wrong, where not that you excuse the players, but it's like they're not picking themselves, and then you have to sit here and consider, is Arteta actually pulling them in the change room and saying, yeah, you had a good game, you done what I wanted you to do? To which, if he is, we need to look at him, because he's going about it differently. There's no patterns of play. Arteta doesn't come across as someone that knows how he wants to solve it. You know, the way he's speaking like us fans. And when you plan to fail, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We had a reactive market. We had a poor market. You know, I do think there was I won't say a high sense of expectation, but there was an element of complacency, and that Arteta's got some spirit in this team. The players are playing good. We won the FA Cup. People probably putting us at a level that we're not. This team is shit. Pardon my language. Before we talk about ability, the consistency of being mentally switched on isn't there. So how can you be consistent when you're in defense or a consistent striker? You all don't want it bad enough. They don't want it bad enough. It doesn't keep them up at night, you know. Some of these men for years have not got Champions League, have failed. Any targets that this club has set or they've set collectively have failed, and they accept it. They're not hurt by it. Do I think they want to go out there and lose? Of course not. But they don't go down fighting. You know, credit Spurs for their game plan and everything. But just like in the previous L's we've taken, you know, you're almost discrediting the other team because you have to discount how poor Arsenal are. You know, a hand in goals. You know, a blind man could see. We said those goals Spurs scored were handed to them. We said that was going to happen. They're one of the best counter-attacking teams in the league. They're free scoring and they're tough to break down. So what do? The complete opposite to how any logical person would try and get around that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's baffling what we're doing, people. Pick up everybody locked in as well. Martin has deleted a tweet, but he should have. I think he would have. You know, I'm not getting at Leno. I'm not getting at Leno at all. You know, I'm not getting at Leno, but I personally think Leno's positioning wasn't best. It's all Bellerin. You know, Holding, I don't think could have done more, but it's all Holding and Bellerin. But if you look at Leno's positioning, you know, it's not the best. That's why he's conceded that goal. It's a banger, but that's why we have these issues with Leno. Leno's positioning isn't good enough. His shot stopping is dodgy. But yesterday, you can't get at him. You cannot get at him. He's nothing to blame with this thing. Nothing to blame. You can't blame him. What are you lot saying? No, Jaden, I'm not good. But love for tuning back in. Hit the like button on the way in. It doesn't mean anything. I'm probably going to go live this evening as well. Let's say 5, maybe 5-ish. So make sure you're all tuned in, people. I apologize, but before we continue, you might as well just let me finish this. Allow me. I'm hungry. Thank you very much, people. But it's just nonsense, you know. The definition of insanity, people, is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking things are going to change, you know. And the beauty of it is, like I said, there's no hiding place. You can tell me you're training, you're working, video analysis, all these things. But on the match, you're not learning because you've done the same things against Spurs that you did against Wolves. You know, you did the same thing against Wolves that you did against Villa and against Leicester. You're dropping too many points. And for me, it's concerning. Not because we've lost. Of course, it's an L. Of course, it hurts. But it's like, we're not in May. We're in December. There's 20-odd games to play. I'm poor at maths, but however many points are to play. So stop feeling sorry for yourselves and fix up. Top 4 is gone. I'm not hearing all this winning Europa League bullshit because this team ain't got... When the chips are down, this team are not on this thing. They're not on this. When there's no expectation and our manager's lost his job and we're playing against quality players, like, yeah, 5 times out of 100, you know, we might win an FA Cup. You might win a North London derby. You might beat Liverpool. You might beat United. You know, what does that do for guys, though? Consistency is key, and we haven't got it. There's no consistency in what Arteta says on the field. There's no consistency in what he does on it. There's no consistency in these players. Numerous of them are hot and cold, like you see. Bellerin one day he's at it, then he's not. Holding the same. Pepe's not irrelevant to this game, but you've got Pepe. Williams just shit. Xhaka don't fancy it enough, and you have to really start to criticize the ID or the profile of player we're looking at, because what is Xhaka? We're still here speaking. What is Xhaka? Is he deep lying? Is he box to box? What the hell is he? All I see is an error pro midfielder. You know, Arteta through the game. Partey, you know, when I see all of these crosses, it screams desperation. You started Partey, desperation. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Me as a fan, I was sitting there and screaming, yo, Partey start. But if you're a manager, you know his fitness is touch and go. Pardon me, you know there's a risk of what could have happened. Lose the battle to win the war, because in the grand scheme of things, we're going to have a woeful season. We probably still would have lost to Spurs, but at least you would have a fit Partey for Burnley and the run of games to come, because is he going to be there for the quarterfinal against Man City in the League Cup? Is he going to be there on Boxing Day against Chelsea? I don't know. I'm not a physio. I haven't seen anything online, but that screams desperation. And when you're desperate and you're losing games, I don't blame him, because we're losing. He has to try things, but when it works, you look like a genius. When it doesn't, you look like an idiot. And you saw the goal. You know, you should be telling Partey to lie down if he's injured, not to run back. You're enabling players' naiveties to get the best of them. Partey's a player. He doesn't want to come off. I'm not being funny. I've said it before. He's played in the Madrid derby and all these sort of games. He wants to. So when he's coming to England and he's hearing, yo, London, Spurs, you know, Arsenal have historically won stuff. Spurs are bullying them now. This is a game he wants to be in, you know. Save the man from himself, because again, if somebody's passed him off as fit, then he's fit. But at the same time, you know the true fitness. So you've let himself down. For me, Arteta, mainly I'm vexed with him in the midfield, because the game was lost there. You know, the game was lost there. Away from Arteta, I'm onto the players, because the players didn't want it. They looked good for the first 10 minutes. You know, how many warning signs were there? Holding played a pass. Lo Celso took it off him. And I think eventually Xhaka brought down Harry Kane. There was a couple of incidents. His son was showing you what's going to happen on the counter attack. Lo and behold, you see what happens. If you play with fire, you get burnt. And Arsenal don't learn. We've still had our hand in this fire. You know, you've got a novice manager who, you know, you can say what you want. Arteta has to have criticism. He's a novice manager, but at the same time, this club did nothing to guard him, you know, to protect him. If you know this manager is his first role and it's a tough time, get the players in, surround him with experience, because who is telling him he's doing right and wrong? What is his coaching stuff? I know you've got experienced coaching stuff, but I'm seeing Ledley King bellowing orders. I don't see that by Arsenal. I'm seeing West Ham coaching staff get booked in games. I don't see that with Arsenal. I see this, like I said in the thingy, it's not out yet, but the post game preview, the post game review of the game from a tactical point of view, I just see one brother at Arsenal, Mr. Arteta, with his earpod in. What's he listening to? Is he listening to DG? Fair play, but what's he listening to? You know, are they telling him he's doing the right things or wrong things? Are they providing him with a different perspective? Players are not improving. I heard Arteta is very good one-to-one. I heard we've got a new individual coach called Carlos something. So why are we not improving players individually? You know, are you telling me Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson, maybe even Saliba couldn't have done better? They might have got rich yesterday, but at least they're going to put their heart in. Because when the chips are down, everyone can play when the sun's shining. When the chips are down, only certain men want to stand up to be counted. Tierney, Saka, Gabriel, Partey went on the field. You know, Aubameyang's riding off the back of the credit of the goals he's had. But he hasn't done much, people, really and truly. And we're going to get onto him in a sec. But I keep mentioning this Carlos Dunn at Arsenal, this coach. And I need to find him, man. I need to find it. This Dunn. Apologies, Carlo. Yeah, this done. He's only 24, and I'm not getting at him, but I don't understand, because if you're a manager, you don't have time to. We can't say things like, let's just say I wanted to work with Pepe. Like I wanted to work with Pepe. And improve him. I'm a manager. I've got to deal with, Arsenal's poor form. I've got to do the coaching stuff. I'm focused on what we're doing week in, week out, innit, people? I'm literally focused on that. So why can't you delegate to somebody and say, yo, I want you to work on this with that player, that with this player? Because Bellerin, immediately, he shouldn't be here where he's made five foul throws. You know, it shouldn't be here. The amount of individual mistakes, the amount of elementary stuff I see, you're not improving. Why are you not delegating? You're not delegating good enough, people. I don't see the delegating. And like I said, Carlos Quasar, can't say his name, but he's 24 years of age. Apparently, he's been at Atletico, he's been at all these things. He's been a young coach. He's spoken of being a coach in his own right, people. Apparently, he's an individual coach. He's in charge of seeing what players are on, seeing ways to improve them and whatnot. So we'll have to see what he's on. And, Andreas Gregson, this is the guy I always tell you with the earpod in. What's he doing? He's at Brentford and stuff like that. You got expertise. You've got to surround yourself with quality, man. Arteta was going to make mistakes. He should be allowed to make mistakes in that regards, but he needs to be saved from himself. And when you've got a novice manager who you knew this was going to happen, we've seen in these 10 months or 12, the good, bad, and the ugly of Mikel Arteta. You've got a novice with Edu who's alienated numerous members of coaching staff and has taken more of the blame. And what's he doing? How we've reacted in terms of the market has a direct impact. We haven't done enough in the market. Arteta hasn't shown me a blueprint, regardless of if he's bought players or not. I'm pretty sure Jose does not want Sissoko. I'm not sure if he's fond of Aurier. I'm not sure if he's, but he's getting more of a tune out of these players. Ndombele, he weren't feeling him. For whatever reason, maybe he was getting Pogba flashbacks, but he's got him playing well. You have to get a tune out of players existing. So when I hear he needs his own players, some of these players are Emre's players, all of these sort of things, they're valid. For me, the biggest thing is some of these players under numerous managers are just so mistake-prone, just stuck in bad habits, they won't change. But at the same time, he's got to be able to get more of out of his squad. He's got to sing more of a tune. He's not getting the best out of the minimal tools he has available to him. You look at, people can say what they want about, we need a creative man. This player is not his player. That player is, all these things. You go and look at the goals scored, the goals created, and all of these sort of things. There are teams that obviously have spent money. But then you've got some teams. Would you say they've got better players than us? Would you say they've got better attackers? No, it comes down to belief, spirit, consistency, and downright coaching. You can't, it's always seen as you want Arteta out or something just by criticizing him. We're at this level now. Big up yourself, LA, man. Big up yourself. What are you lot saying? I've been ranting. I ain't even tuned in. Big up everyone. The 356 of you tuned in. Please hit the like button. Don't be no freeloaders. I'm not like Arsenal. I give you consistency. I do what I can for you guys. I see 72 likes, so please get that up. Moderators, get on that. Like M said, hit the like button on your way in. Big up yourself, Dayan. We got just like Dion, Beyond. I know you're a United fan as well, so appreciate you for tuning in. You're just here for good content. Kimmy has said, where do we go from here? All the deadwood can't go to the summer. What needs to happen in Jan? And will the board help Arteta with more additions? Big up DG. My guy K, I wish I had an answer for you. I wish I could tell you something that could put your mind at rest as you're at work or whatever you're doing and trying to just think about the fuckery that Arsenal have been doing. But truthfully, I don't know. Where do we go from here, my bro? I say that because to us, it's that deep. I'm going to be making vids all week in relation to this. I'm still going to be making other videos in relation to Arsenal. You're still going to be watching my vids, and thank you very much for that. Saluting the thing. You're going to be talking with your friends. You're going to be talking with your work colleagues and family. You're not switching off from this Spurs game. You probably, like myself, yesterday, you're saying, why did that happen? What if this happened? What if that happened? We love this. We got a drug. The problem is, I do think the players care. I don't think they just turn up. But do they care as much as us? Do they care enough to make this not a thing? No, because they keep letting this happen. They don't want it bad enough. You know, they don't. They wouldn't do these cheap mistakes. I don't know where we go from here because we've now lost how many games on the trot now? You know, is it that deep for the players or the manager or the coaching staff? Is it that deep? Did they wake up today feeling sick, getting back into training, getting into training an hour early, doing extra work, actually watching the games again? Will they do that? You know, they should have been doing that up before the international break when we lost to Villa, you know, going into that game with a win. They should have been doing it when we went to Leeds, going out of that. They should have done it when we're playing Wolves and Leicester and these teams, knowing we're going into a tough run of fixtures. They should have done it last week against Wolves. Are they? You know, it's not that deep for them. It's just, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Listen, in life, it's never the end of the world, but it's got to mean a lot more. You're right. All the deadwood can't go to the summer. What needs to happen in January is, for me, before we talk about all of that, my guy, it's the mentality, bro. It's the mentality, you know. We saw a little bit of what a change in mentality can do when Arteta first came into the club. We was winning games we shouldn't have won, was playing well. Obviously, we won a cup. It's the mentality. Like yesterday, the mentality. Forget Jose's fantastic tactics and the players and whatnot, and obviously Arteta's poor tactics, but it's the mentality, you know. Kane, pressure on his back, you know, the fans looked at him, stood up to that, you know. Forget Kane's goal. I think Kane had an amazing game without his goal and assist, purely for the hold-up play and the defensive task. You're seeing him clear, you know, they're winning 2-0. He's clearing the ball in his own box. You know, he wanted to stand up to be counted. Son wanted to make the difference. Aurier didn't want to make mistakes. Toby didn't want to make mistakes. You know, Højbjerg and Sissoko, they all fought for each other. They were all scared of letting down their fellow teammates and the collective. That's what I don't see at Arsenal. When the game started, what did you see? Elbows, smart fouls, you know, all that gamesmanship from Spurs, which is jarring when you support a team that's against you. But it's about that. You've got to earn the right to play. And there's no substitute for hard work and there's no substitute for effort. I don't think you can train a mentality, you know. Jose's mentality is clearly rubbed off on some players, but I guarantee you there's been some he's cleared out. There's been some that it's gone either way, like Ndombele, it's worked for him. There's going to be these sort of things. It don't look like man are fighting for themselves, so how can they fight for the manager? It's the mentality, bro. Before we get any signings, for me, it's the mentality. We need a creative man. Dare I say we need another box-to-box midfielder as well, because like you saw, Partey's not there. It's irrelevant. Torreira and Guendouzi are not here. You know, if El Nene doesn't play, and you're stuck between Xhaka, Ceballos and all of that stuff. So that's it. And will the board help him? They have to help him. Have they given... This is why I look at the board and discuss, because Arteta has to face the music. But if I'm Edu, pardon me, can I sit here right now and say I've given Arteta all the tools possibly I can to make sure he has a success? With all me as a fan knowing all the details? No, you haven't brought in a player. You haven't sorted out question marks. It's a joke thing. You know, we wing it. You know, you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So we're not here by coincidence. When you hear we're talking about summer 2021, is it a thing where this season even matters? It's just, you know, next season when we move players on and we get these players we're looking at in, is that when we're going to move serious? You know, and is there any real pressure on Arteta? Like I said, I don't feel you can just get onto all of him. We know there's a lot wrong, but is there any pressure? We know they like him. We know they retain faith. We know you need to believe in him, and he spoke a lot about the project, but is there any pressure? Lampard at Chelsea is probably the same situation, but he knows certain wins or certain things don't happen. He's going to get a random FaceTime from Abramovich. Abramovich is randomly going to turn up at 9 a.m. at Cobham. Do you get that from Stan Kroenke? You don't. You don't. You don't. So there's no pressure in that regards. Pressure is a privilege and it makes you react. Clearly, Arteta feels pressure. It's all on his back. You know, this is his first job. He's won an FA Cup, but he's going to live or die by this job. Everything he does is praised or scrutinized to the high heavens. But at the same time, I'm talking about that pressure from above. Then you might have to respond a bit better. It seems like Arteta has a free reign to do BS at times. I'm not going to sit here and cap. Big up the 400 people locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Ozzy has said, DG, my brother, you wouldn't give a doctor a jackhammer to do a brain thing. So why are we whipping crosses to Aubameyang? Bro, like you said, once again, square pegs in round holes. There's no design to what we're doing. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier, my bro, in that it stinks of desperation. You're playing Partey is not fit, and you know that could happen with his injury because we're desperate because of the form. We're crossing because we're desperate. You know, if we was crossing, but it's a thing where we're telling Aubameyang dart to the near post and midfield, make sure you're a late runner so you can mop up. Cool, I could see that. But we're just crossing. And the Jose Mourinho side is going to lap that up. That's what I mean. Second half, we huffed and puffed and did nothing. Do you get it? You know already. You know, they're taller than us as well. We did it against another well-coached side in Wolves. Yeah, Gabriel funded in the header, but do you get it? Like you said, poor tools. And that's what I mean by, although I get at Edu and I get at the club and I get at the players before I get at Arteta, I can't absolve him of any criticism because he's not getting the best out of the minimum things he can control. We shouldn't be talking about Arsenal's lack of attacking quality. You know, even Unai Emery had at least, you know, I'm not going to paint Emery with any golden brush, but at least you could see little 1-2s between Lacazette and Aubameyang, a little handshake and all of those things. I don't see that. From the moment this season kicked off, we've been relying on random individual bits of play to score goals, and it's not been sustainable. I keep hearing talk about how we've improved defending-wise, and we have, but it's overstated. We lost 2-0 to Spurs, and maybe before Arteta, we lose that exact game 4-0. We lost, 1-0 to City. We didn't lose 5. It's still at L. We're not. It's not like we're up there for clean sheets. Spurs have 5. We have 3 now. They had 1 ahead of us prior, but we're not a mad defensive side. We're not scoring mad goals. You have to wonder as well, and I always say this, even if Arteta wanted to make us the most rigid team in the world, how far can you make these guys improve defensively without needing better players? You know, you look at Atletico Madrid. I guarantee Simeone weeded out players that couldn't play that system. He got to a level maybe under the players he had to use, but you hit a glass ceiling after a while. And for me, it's the mentality. You know, some of these players, they just need to go because there's been numerous managers. They face a lot of criticism. They've got no self-awareness. They don't want to improve. You don't want to be better. You don't, or you wouldn't do these things. You wouldn't. Big up yourself, Rolly, for tuning in. People, make sure you're hitting the like button. You know, Bellerin just chats, bro. And for me, the fact that Bellerin is the vice captain, I get it. He's been at the club a while and he does some good things off the field. But that tells me 2 things. Is Bellerin one of the most vocal in the change rooms, to which I'd be very effing concerned? And 2, you know, did the players respect him or listen to him as being a vice captain? I'm not too sure. It's a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a joke thing. Apologies, people. I'm trying to go through. You lot are moving mad active. I appreciate it. 410 people in here. Can we have 410 likes? Mo Timbo said, what would be a reasonable finish to the season? Clearly, top 4 is out of our hands. Maybe we need a season out of Europe. I feel Mikel will be a good manager at other team. Even Emery doing better. For me, I'm not sure, my guy. I hear that. You know, I hear that. Playing once a week, more time to focus. But what did we hear? We heard being in the Europa League initially. That would have helped us and all of these things. I would say being out of Europe would maybe make the penny drop and say, yo, we need to fix up. In the same way, I hope that the minute we went out the top 4, you know, death, taxes, and Arsenal finishing 4th for a large period of life, or my life, free assurances sort of thing. So when that didn't happen, alarm bell should have rang. Should I tell you truthfully, the alarm bell should have rang? The first year before Spurs, in the last years, they've been finishing ahead of us. The score is still 20 to about 5 for Spurs fans, but I had to do that. But for me, go and look at that season before where Spurs were leading the way and we just pipped them to 4th place or finishing ahead of them. That was the season to fix up. But complacency, you know, it looks like you've got an owner who, you know, he can have his lieutenants, but he's out of sight, out of mind. You know, the Edus, the Vinay's, all these people are left to their own devices, as with Arteta below them. Players don't know what the hell is going on. It's a bit of a joke. Yeah, he does love him. I would love to. He's forgot a role for Sissoko, but I'm saying, you know, Sissoko is playing well. He's playing consistent. There's a job there, but I'm sure he probably wouldn't have bought Sissoko. In another world, Sissoko would be marginalized. He probably wouldn't be playing on a regular basis. You know, you had players like Dembele and that. But he's found a role for him. He's got him playing. He's made Sissoko buy into what he wants. To be fair, Poch had the same thing. My point being, Jose has simply got more of a tune out of some players. Spurs fans might have said are not good enough, are past it, and all of these sort of things. You know, that's what I believe. As well as I think Arteta needs new players, he has to be thingied. He has to be held accountable, man. Like John said, like the video. Come on. And that's it, Matt. I hear all that spending stuff, but you know, we had the chance. And again, I know financial stuff plays a part, but financial restrictions were sort of lifted with COVID. We had a chance to adjust all areas. You know, a big club or a team that wants to get back to winning stuff, or a team that wants to move serious, you get Partey in early. You get a creative man early. You get the two profiles. Forget Partey or Arwa or Shabazlai. Just the two profiles of players. You do that early. You know this is your novice manager's first full season as a manager and at your club. Give him all the tools. If we can't move players on, at least bring him in some. You know, and this is where you're looking at the manager. The owner could have flexed his muscles and stuff, but he doesn't give a crap. So we're begging for the day Arsenal is sold. Arsenal's forever going to be at a standstill with this. I don't know why we're trying to hope on this mighty Ducks business that something is going to change. Bro, crossing for the sake of it, just to say, yeah, we crossed 40-something times. How many crosses effing hit the target, people? Let me reel off some stats for you guys. Let me reel off the stats, because I found some stats online, and it's a bit mad still. I'm not going to lie to you. And again, I don't believe in stats without context, but some of them are pretty damning, people. Looking at it, Arsenal's rank in the Premier League this season, 17th with 10 goals. Joint 18th for 32 shots on target, 65 chances created, joint 20th. Are there 19 better teams necessarily that can do these things better than us, or does that come down to the players not pulling it out and the manager? You know, as I said earlier, Hector Bellerin alone has been responsible for 5 of the 16 foul throws in the Premier League this season, and he symbolizes everything that's wrong with this club, in my opinion. Mediocre, doesn't try to improve, absolutely wings it, lack of consistency, talks a good game. Moving away from that, Arsenal have had the fewest shots, second half shots of any of the 92 teams in the Premier League and Football League this season. So what does the crossing mean? Against Wolves and against Spurs, yeah, both teams after getting the 3 points more or less sat back and all of these things and let us come to them, and it looks like that we looked all right, we tried, we're putting in crosses, but there's no intention on the crosses. And what does this tell you? Second half of games, when we're chasing games, we're still not doing enough to try and get in it. We're huffing and puffing, and they're low-level quality of chances. There was a couple, I wouldn't even say heart-in-mouth moments from Spurs, but a couple times it looked like we could score, but we huffed and puffed and flattered to deceive. You know, this tells me the players mentally are not at it. Because I always said that. Realistically, you knew Spurs were going to score. You knew Kane or Son, definitely both were going to score. It's how you respond to adversity, going to go down. That's when I'm looking at my captain Aubameyang to say something. That's when I'm looking at all these players. You know, Bellerin, you're as good as an Englishman here at this moment in time. You should know, you're like me. You're a North London lad, more or less like me. So I want to see the same thing. So why are you the one hiding it? I'm seeing what Tierney's coming with, the old firm mentality. You know, I'm seeing what Gabriel's coming with, that Brazilian mentality, that hunger to achieve stuff. I don't know. I'm seeing Saka, 19-year-old. I'm trying to play for England. I'm trying to be serious. I'm not seeing it from anyone else. So you have to question the tactics, because we're not doing enough to get back in the game. You have to question mentally where these players are and how they respond to a setback. Even the second goal, people, you know, go into half-time at 1-0. Why are you conceding and near enough added on time? You know, where's the game management? Poor. Spurs managed the game. You saw the experience in the difference in experience between Jose and Arteta, but also those players. You also saw the difference between a team that bought into Jose and a team that didn't. And it's not always been glossy for Jose at Spurs. You know, right now it's the cool thing to praise him. He's had a long journey. You're not buying into what Arteta's saying. You're not trying to improve. Just joke, man, all over the field, people. You know, and the statistics don't lie. Whatever you have to say, Arsenal in the Premier League this season, 11 matches, 4 wins, 1 draw, 6 L's. 13 out of a potential 33 points, 15th in the table, 10 goals scored, 14 conceded, a -4 goal difference. So we're not scoring goals, and this is what I mean. How good are we defending? Yeah, you're not conceding 7 goals, you're conceding 5. Is that something to scream and shout about? Fans keep gassing media stuff, and like I said, 44 crosses. It might say, yeah, we tried, we were doing stuff, but what's the point of that? You know, if you're going to cross it to Aubameyang, you need to put them whipped ones low where he's running into space. He's not a guy that's going to be like Giroud, just going to thump it in and header it. He needs to run onto that little running header thing or something. And he's low in form, so it's not going to happen in that regard. Of the 44 crosses against Spurs, the most by any team in the Premier League games so far this season, only 9 of those were accurate. Now, I think sometimes a cross isn't necessarily a cross. They've counted other things, but it's poor. Absolutely poor, people. Absolutely appalling. Appalling. And Arteta doesn't seem like he has the answers, at a point in the game, I recorded it. We found a teammate with 1 of 15 crosses at a point. We had 69% possession, which was at a point in the game, which was our highest since 2019 against Brighton. Did we not lose both of those games? We had 76% in the second half, people. 7 shots to 1. Not creating enough chances, not dominating in that regard. Huffing and puffing. Like I said, this is all just hot smoke. Spurs knew that we'd make mistakes. They knew Arsenal would try and get a goal, and you just have to remain rigid. If that game went on any longer or any different circumstances, probably would have got more. The only thing I saw that I didn't expect from Spurs, they were less aggressive in terms of pressing us. It's like they let us play out from the back, and they knew mistakes would happen, which did happen, people. The only good thing you're looking at, people, let me find it, because I think, if you look at it, this is actually official Arsenal's worst start to a league season since 1981-82. And I know you lot are probably expecting us to finish, we're hoping to just beat the drop at this point. We need to target 40 points. But that season, we actually finished 5th. So I know some of you are optimistic Arsenal fans. Let's hope you still stay optimistic. Mikel Arteta himself said, we can do any system, any formation. We can put 55 strikers there. If you don't score goals, we cannot win football matches. Simple as that. And I get that. The players have to take responsibility, but it's a direct consequence of your DNA. Let's not act like he's just taking his job. How many hours technically is there? Pardon me. How many hours are there in a week? How many hours are there in a typical work week? Yeah. How many hours are these boys at training? We hear they even do double sessions now. He's been there 10 months. If you can't put together phases of play, something is wrong in what you're telling them or lack of what you're doing away from the players obviously not being switched on, people. In terms of performance, I think we're at the point where Arteta is tired of bashing his players. He's probably just trying. When you play Football Manager, people like myself, I haven't won in 5 games. You play Football Manager and you're losing every game, and you always do the shouting thing, and it gets dead. You think they're not reacting, so he's doing this gassing them. For me, Arteta, this doesn't sound like a man that has solutions. For last season, he was solving problems. Now he's creating them as much as the other players, in my opinion. He's asked, like I said previously, every time I'm talking about Arteta now, it's more questions than answers. He said in terms of the performance, they did everything that I asked them to do. Absolutely everything. They did in Arteta. Win your individual battles. Don't let that space on the transition happen. We did, and we paid a part of it. Bellerin's out of position. Clearly, from what I saw of Bellerin, you was telling Bellerin to get forward, but Bellerin's playing like a wing back. He's genuinely playing like a wing back and not a fullback. How many warning signs were there of that ball into that channel for Son, and he was going to go and press it? You give him warning signs, and this is why I say away from everything. Yeah, that's the difference between street smart players and not. Some of these players have. Look at the difference between Xhaka and Højbjerg. Yeah. Højbjerg's probably even younger, Obviously, Højbjerg's played for Bayern Munich and all of these sort of things. But they've, in terms of games played, they've played for their countries. They've played. Højbjerg is street smart. He's winning smart fouls. He's making cynical tackles. He's disrupting the flow. He's arguing with the ref. He's doing smart little things. His positioning is spot on. Xhaka, not street smart at all. Kane, street smart. A lot of people have been getting onto Kane where he does that thing where he waits for someone to jump and he lets them back into him. Lacazette does that. Any striker. Bro, how many of you lot play Sunday League? You're told to do that as a striker. Those are the basics. As a fullback, tuck the fuck in. Why isn't Bellerin doing that? As a midfielder, get the fuck back. These are basic things. We shouldn't need fancy presentations and analytical bullshit and tactics board. The boys shouldn't need no tactics board to know what you're doing right and wrong. The best footballers are the best problem solvers, and players need to figure things out themselves mentally. Forget all the tactics. Mentally, they're not on it. And Arteta, this stuff, Arteta's probably getting onto them in the private, but this doesn't help. In terms of performance, they did everything I asked them to do. Absolutely everything. They didn't win their individual battles. Cheap mistakes cost them. They were ineffective in front of goal. Call a spade a spade. We played the way I believe we had to play this game. You look at the stats, they're all in our favour, but we have to put the ball in the back of the net. I agree with the last sentence. You don't put the ball in the back of the net, you don't win a football game. Statistics are not in our favour. The only statistics we care about is 3 points. It's not. I don't care about possession. Possession means nothing if you're not going to do anything with it and press a team. It doesn't mean anything if you're going to be slow. It doesn't mean anything. This is nonsense. Like he said, When asked on what we need to do to win, he said by scoring goals. It's very simple. We need to score goals. If not, it's unsustainable. We need to put the ball in the net urgently. You know, he also said a cross doesn't just mean an aerial cross. We penetrated the penalty box on numerous occasions. If we generate that every week, we'll win football matches. At the moment, it looks like we need to do a lot to win football matches. And we do, because we're cheating ourselves on the football field, people. We are. We need to do a lot more. Again, you need runners. You need movement. You need a lot. You need hell of a lot. You know, you can't just rely on that. You can't just turn to a back four. You can't just cross the ball into the box and expect things to change. That's not how life works, people. And I know I've been rambling a lot, so let's get into the Aubameyang business, people. You know, apparently, I'm not going to say the newspaper I'm reading, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's agent aims dig at Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta over the Gunners' barren goal record. Kwaku Mensah, his agent, has said, you know, I'm sure you've all seen it. I don't want to promote a certain newspaper, but apologies. This is what he said basically. If you create chances, and it's obviously a reference to the Sky Sports stuff, how it clearly says, you know, goals were 17th, as said, shots on target 18th with only 32, created 65. While I think Aubameyang needs to fix up, can you blame him? He's saying what we all see, you know. As poor as Aubameyang is, you know, how much better service could he be? How much better could he be if he had service? Like I said, I'm not absolving Aubameyang of any blame, because he needs to face the music. But at the same time, he's been shortchanged. He's not being created. And strikers are weird. They're very sort of mental in that regard. If someone lays something on the plate for Aubameyang and he scores, how much could his form tick over? You know. And that's for me as well. His body language is very dodgy now, and I have to call a spade a spade. And it's like he said, man, you know. And the thing is, with this, you know, you look at the facts. Aubameyang's only scored 2 goals in 11 appearances this season. His goals per game percentage is just 0.18%. And if Aubameyang is doing that, apparently he also. Apologies, people. Something's playing. He also had the fewest touches. 21 of all the 22 players that started was in it against Leeds. That Leno played more passes to Aubameyang than the midfielders in Ceballos, Xhaka, and Joe Willock, which tells me several things. The midfielders are not good enough. They're not competent enough. They're not consistent enough. But also, what Arteta is demanding or asking of them on the training ground to replicate on a match, it's not sustainable, or there's a lack of idea, because they're not improving in that regards. I understand if Aubameyang's defeated, if he's, like I said, he's the captain, he's got to stand up to be counted, he's got to do a lot more. But I understand if he's hurt and whatnot, and I understand it, but he's still got to do a lot more. The concerning thing for me is obvious reasons is for obvious reasons. Do I need to spell it out to you? If his agent is saying this and putting it on social media, what's Aubameyang saying to his agent or in his close circle? Because you can't. Listen. The agent is him. He can't speak for the agent. You know, the agent doesn't speak for Aubameyang and vice versa. But he's not going to say several things if he hasn't been feeling this for a while. And you have to imagine what Aubameyang is saying in his close circle. What was the point of him signing a new deal? What was the point of bringing Saliba to this club? What Saka must be thinking, what the hell have I got myself into with this new deal? You know, Partey, you've left Atletico Madrid, who are top of the La Liga or something now, or close there, you know, give or take. You left it for what? For what? You know, what are we doing here? And for Partey and Gabriel and the new signings, I'm concerned, because as you lot know, they're standing out, but sooner or later they're going to start moving rubbed like the Arsenal players. I knew I was right, people. I was going to say Atletico were first, Real Sociedad was second, Unai Emery's team are third, Real Madrid are fourth, you know, and Barcelona are ninth. You know, I wonder how long Koeman holds on to that, but it is what it is. At least, I don't know, people. At least Barcelona are failing as well. What are you lot saying? Please hit the like button, people. It doesn't cost a penny. Bro, you need to get rid of bums. But again, there's been, you know, we need the mentality to change, man. Need the mentality to change. They're not playing for themselves. Then are they looking like a team that's playing for themselves? If you're not playing for yourself and your own personal pride, I can't expect you to play for the manager. No. Not playing for the manager, not playing for the fans. They're not doing anything, man. I can have a work rate, but consistency is key. I've had a break, you know. I have breaks, but love for that. Big up yourself as well, man. What you lot got to say in relation to this, man? Come on, you're gonna get blocked for that. I mean, you know, regardless, once you sign up to a club, you sign up. Unfortunately, I'm blood in, blood out. Like, please refrain the two stupid questions. First 2 league games in a row, fans at home, both winnable. Hopefully. But again, going on a run, you have to show consistency. You know, you have to show consistency, and there's no hiding place. And right now, several players are hiding. But if it continues like this, the penny has to drop, and ultimately, the manager is the one that probably has to keep it moving. You know, Xhaka is he? What is Xhaka? What is him? We're still talking about him. It's the less said about Xhaka, the better, man. I didn't say they don't care, but it's you don't care enough. Dominating the ball means nothing. What did you dominate? You didn't put Spurs under any sustained bit of pressure. Having the ball and knocking it about and playing backwards passes means nothing. What you need to do, Matt, is remove your emotions and look at it for what it is, please. You have to get blocked because you're just moving stupid. Ken, big up yourself all the way in from Kenya. Big up yourself. I can't blame you lot if you lot are saying Arteta must go. I do think Aiden, the players do care. It's just they're not learning enough. You know, they're not good enough. Simple as that. Not one argument or fight from Aubameyang. You know, to be fair, everyone has to face the music. Everyone. You can't bin the whole squad, but you can bin the manager. And to be fair, it's just back and forth. When a new manager comes in, we'll say the players. When the players are there, we'll say the manager. It's a revolving cycle, and it's boring, man. The players are one thing, you know. The players are one thing. The manager's one thing. The executives are one thing. But fundamentally, the buck stops with who owns this club. That's the one variable, really and truly. It's not. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Like, how can it get better? Things can change if some Bucks don't win games, but if they go and win and put a run of games together, the sentiment changes. But the way they're playing, they can't buy a win. So I can't tell you nothing different. Like you said, someone that understands it. Spurs. I just said it as well. Spurs sat off us. Spurs let us have the ball. They weren't concerned with trying to be on the ball. They knew we get the ball, false sense of security, we'll slip into old habits. Big up Bronze. That's someone that looking at it without emotions, man. You know, we need warriors. We need men that are on this. We need guys that are on this. I must admit, I am not seeing these non-negotiables and all of these sort of things. When I'm seeing several players play again and again and again and again, it's not making sense. It really isn't. Some of these players, big up C for tuning in from America. Some of these players will never be able to get Arsenal to fourth, no matter the coach. But I get it. Facts, 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 facts. And what has Ozzy said, Matt, when a team sits in there on the final third, they allow you to have the ball, but this is it. But don't let them pull the wall over your eyes. We pretty much only crossed when we had attackers that suit that bar Gabby, someone that actually watches the game. You know, big up yourself, Robin. Big up everyone tuning in from anywhere in the world. Please hit the like button. It does not cost a thing, people. It doesn't cost a thing. And you have to admit, if Aubameyang's agent is saying that, obviously his agent's a good friend of his, or has been, because he's been his agent for a while. They must be speaking about this. Like, why aren't you creating? Are you happy with this? Are you not? You know, there becomes a limit. Arteta's got all the solutions. And to be fair, he opens himself up because he says, blame me. I told them to do this and whatnot. They've been clocked. They're clocked it. They're clocked it. And that's why you need to keep evolving. And we haven't done that. Big up Tabs, you said, why then, DG, do you think there's been a change in mentality since the beginning? Because we're supposed to be in a better place. I don't think there's been a change. I don't. I think there's been a slight improvement, but I wouldn't go as far as to say there's a change. You know, we're not losing by cricket scores. We're still losing. The old habits are still there. It's just the mentality hasn't been there. Showing mentality, you have to display consistency, and we've not shown it. There's no point being up for the occasional big game. You need to be at it every day of the week. You need to, because what I'm seeing, you're not putting in the hard work when the cameras are off. I'm not at training, but what I'm seeing on the field is a result. Is what we see on the football field is a direct result of the week of training they've been doing, right? People correct me if I'm wrong. I lie. That's how it works. They train from Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We see what they've been working on and whatnot, right? Yeah. I'm not seeing enough on the field to suggest that you're truly working on something, or you're truly buying into what the manager's saying, or you're taking your own development in your own pride. Because I see several players, whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, you've got plenty of reasons to want to play consistent, but you don't show it. We don't see it. So it's a bit crazy. I don't think we'll ever play to Aubameyang's strengths. Knock the ball in behind. If you're going to cross it so that he runs onto it. He's not going to be the stationary strikers holding man off and winning the head. It's not going to be an Andy Carroll thing. The only way Aubameyang is going to score a goal is if he makes that run and he's not picked up. That's why we need movement from him, late midfield runners, all of these sort of things, man. Bro, Kane defended better than Bellerin. That tells you Bellerin's not a defender. Bellerin's not a football player. You know, dead mindset. I can't get away with it. Like I'd said, football is ruthless in any level. If results aren't good enough, you're pulled up. Exactly. That's what people don't understand. When it's all good, everyone wants to talk all the things. But if it's crazy, you need to be looking at this from a neutral point of view. You know, for me, when it's bad, we don't hide anything. When it's good, we don't hide anything. We speak about things, and I think that's the problem with football fans. When there's so much emotion attached to it, man, just want to see the good and the bad, and just look for lazy excuses. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, a reasonable finish to the season. Bro, it's just finish as high as you can. Like, just try and finish better than 8th. Try and finish as long as it's still mathematically possible to finish as high as 4th. While I think we don't get it, I agree. That's the mentality. You have to have that mentality. Because if you can't start saying to yourself, "Yo, I want to finish 10th," we're gonna end up getting relegated. You need to still believe you can get 4th. Mathematically, it's possible. Because we're Arsenal, it's not. Realistically, you have to target the Europa League. And Arteta last season showed me he got it wrong over 2 legs, and so did the players. So is that a thing? Firmly another year without Europe's elite competition, and we'll feel the direct pinch of that because of what we're doing on the football field. We're not doing what we need to do off it to give us the best tools on it. So how can we advance? Can't really. I don't know for Edu. I don't know for Edu because I'm not there. I don't rate what I've seen. It's crazy. Like Ahmed said, 400 people locked in. Big up. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. It doesn't cost a thing. I don't know why we're not on 100 likes. They're deep. They're being deep. Why aren't you lot saluting the thing? Big up everyone in the comments. I'm getting through it. Man said, man like Steven Berger. I wish I had his money, my guy. I wish I had his money, my guy. What else have we got to say? I know how you're feeling, like me with Aston Villa a few years ago. Bro, I don't even think that's it, fam. They just need to F off, man. If you're not with this, it's just too much pretenders because I genuinely don't think it's the end of the world. You know, it's never the end of the world, whether you lose any game. You know, it's all about tomorrow. But are these players, you see how I'm speaking on this thing now for 50 odd minutes? You lot are putting your input and listening. Are these players having their own self-diagnostics with their teammates? Are they watching the game again off their own backs? Are they genuinely looking in the mirror and saying, cool, what have I done right or wrong? Because for me, I'm big on accountability. You can lie to yourself, you can lie to Arteta, you can lie to the fans with these PR statements. But sooner or later, when you finish that game, when you've had your your post-match meal and your debrief by the manager, when you go home, take a shower, get into bed, you've got to look in that mirror near your bed. You've got to, before you fall asleep, look at the sky and your mind will play on you. It's that level there where your conscience gets at you. That's where there's no hiding place. And I don't think these lot are scared of that. They don't the fear of failure doesn't excel them. Spurs scared of letting down what they've got now. Liverpool have been scared of going back to what they used to, so they've been improving year in, year out. It's crazy, man. So am I, my guy. Big up yourself, man. As a Brit in the US, I'm glad I'm here because I don't know what I'd do if I was outside the Emirates right now. I'm hurting bad. The day after hurts more. For me, it's the immediate. I've accepted the result, I've accepted it. So it is what it is, man. It really is what it is. It's crazy, man. Bro, Bellerin can't even plant trees. Like, he doesn't even want to plant trees. Didn't he say every time he thingy, every time we win, he's gonna plant trees, bro? You're not saving the planet. You're gonna play. You're not playing like you want to save the planet either, man. Crazy guy, bro. Poor guys, bro. Some poor players. Big up everybody in the comments. Please make sure you hit the like button. Terrell has said, DG fam, he needs to go. I think the job is too big for him. Aubameyang looks disengaged since the contract. What does Ainsley have to do to get a game, fam? It's poor. Listen, in relation to Arteta, he's not giving me anything to back him up to you, so you're allowed to feel like that. I don't know what Maitland-Niles has to do because you bigged up his capabilities in midfield. You have a past it Partey, not a past it Partey. What I meant to say is, you've got a Partey right now for this game is past. He's not fit. You're not playing El Nene. Why? Listen, I know Xhaka can pass a ball and things like that allegedly, but why? For me, it's about the engine. It's just that basic IQ. You need dynamic runners. Xhaka is not that. It's not going to be a mad possession-based game. Yeah, we had a hell of a lot of possession, but that wasn't what we was thinking going into it. So why is he playing? I don't know what he's got to do. He's picking favourites. That's it. Let's be honest, we are miles of contending, which should be the only conversation. And that's where you're right and wrong. We should be aspiring to get back to that. But to suggest that we can't talk about anything because we're not contending for the league title is absolute nonsense because we're not setting up any building blocks to do that. We all know we're miles off contending. I think I speak for most Arsenal fans when I say, while we'd love to be contending and doing all those sort of things, we just want to look like a downright football team again. That's it. That we just want to see a collective 11 that you're working on something in the week and we see it. Simple as that. You know, and like you said, a semi-fit party fully. You know, Ozil can play. I would play Ozil, but he ain't gonna make a difference. You know, yeah, against Spurs there might have been prettier passes, but he ain't gonna make a difference. But by that same token, this is what I mean. I don't care if if Willian doesn't play. Just make sure he's playing well, because I don't want to talk about Pepe or Nelson. Make sure you've brought in a creative man, or you're showing me you're gonna work with existing options to guard against a lack of creativity in the team. Nobody speaks about Ozil. These things are only highlighted because we're playing poor, man. Would I keep up the quality content in the Championship? Of course, I keep bringing out Arsenal content. Big up everyone. Please make sure you're hitting the likes. Big up yourself. You know, like Footy Chaz said, I'm not even angry or upset no more. I'm just done with these players and everyone who works day in, day out of the club. For me, it's the players, man. It's the players. I have all my grievances with Arteta. It's the players and it's Kroenke. Like, I'm onto both of them before Arteta, admittedly. But that's how it is for me, man. That's how it is for me. And I can't disagree with that. It's not making sense. I wouldn't add Torreira to that, to be fair. And Guendouzi apparently got rude, so I understand that. But generally, I do agree. I can't disagree. Martinelli's injured, so he's not a thing right now. I'm not too sure you can say that, because, you know, how many months ago would they say we wasn't saying that? We're saying they all want to play for him. They all love him. We didn't say it against Fulham. We did not say that against Manchester United a few weeks ago. So I don't think it's that. I just think Arteta is getting it wrong and the players are hiding. It's nothing to do with that. You can't turn, not getting at you, but I don't think we can turn around and say that. That's it. It's died a long time ago. This is North London FC. This ain't Arsenal. Arsenal sold the minute it sold the first share to the Kroenkes, and will forever be like this until that man departs the club, man. It's crazy. Bro, fighting in the wrong places. For me, it's the fact that you're fighting all your friends, but you're not fighting the oppositions. You know, you're meant to be brothers in arms. Show that same energy against strangers. Don't always be bad for your friends. Of course it does. Well, we're not getting relegated realistically. I hope we're not. But of course Europa League salvages the season. We will 100% get touched in the Champions League, but let's just deal with that when we get there. Let's just have some sort of ambition. Like Kwesi said, no fight, no heart, no ideas. It's as simple as that. Bro, Xhaka needs 1,000 years on the ball. He's one of the best midfielders with years on the ball. And even then, that one's there's going out of there, man. Like you said, accountabilities. You know, accountability. Players, accountability. Management, accountability. Owners, accountability. Fully right. Is it that the board back him, or is that, you know, they're going to bring in another novice, or, you know, they can't get in the Carlos and the Luis Enriquez and the Joses, you know, because Jose, all these managers are not going to accept that sort of transfer window. Wenger, I mean, Arteta shouldn't have as well, but he don't really have a leg to stand on. They can say, well, who are you? This is your first job. We're doing you a favor. Them other man with the CV there, you can't do that. So, and again, I think you're right. And I think that's why there's an air of complacency from Arteta, because he knows unless something mad happens, he's not losing his job, man. What the fuck? Of course. Right now, of course. They've been finishing ahead of us. Teams are more scared of playing Leicester than us. Facts. I would rather, if let's just say I'm Deluded FC and we're in the Prem, I'm more scared of Leicester than Arsenal. I think you can beat Arsenal. I'd be vexed if we don't take 3 points of Arsenal against Leicester. I'd be like, it goes the way it can, man. I feel you, my guy. I feel you. The owner doesn't want to be a winner. They don't want to. That's why when you look at Chelsea, they don't lie down for too long. They've had some embarrassing seasons and they hit back because the manager wants to win. I mean, the owner wants to win, so everybody has to get it spot on. That energy is not replicated, man. It's crazy, man. And that's it. The players are soft. Arteta is at the moment extremely one-dimensional. Do I think the Kroenkes are going to leave? Would you? Would you? You didn't technically invest. You invested your own money, but you actually haven't invested your own money when you look at the dynamics and you've seen the share price of this club double. You know there's always going to be, and you know it's making you a lot of money. You know there's always going to be interest in buying this club. You've seen him reject moves. You know you can use this club because of the finances to as collateral to start other projects in your LA and all of these things. You know, we're a vehicle for the rest of his dreams. So I don't think he'll ever leave. This is going to be a family heirloom for Josh, and you know they've got the Walmart dynasty. You know, it's never going to get better, man. I can't see it. I can't see Arsenal being a serious club doing anything serious with certain man in management. NA has said thoughts on Maitland-Niles and Partey pairing in midfield. we could do a lot worse. You know, for me, I'm on this El Nene party and Maitland-Niles thing because until we get a creative man, because you know what, if you're not gonna play Willian there or Smith Rowe there or bring back in Ozil or sign the next man or do something else, we might as well say, all right, cool, we ain't got the players for that. Let's just go on this box-to-box thing. Let's just do the building thing now. Let's just have bare thugs in the middle. And that's what I wanted to see now, man. I don't see what Arteta, I don't see what Maitland-Niles has to do to get a chance in the squad. You know, he could have got played right back. Cool. You want to play in midfield, keep playing right back. Bellerin is playing shit. Either him or Cedric. Midfield, based on what Xhaka done, biggest pretender that Xhaka you, man. I can't blame you, Casino. You're, you know, you can talk what you need to talk. We was saying that last season was a platform. We knew it wasn't going to be plain sailing, but we'd have thought to see more consistency, more of a blueprint. Players continuing to be a bit smarter. It's all gone out the window. It's all gone out the window. Bro, let's hope they do that. They need to get a move on. That's it. We're just them bookies, bro. Bare uncles and outside it with them crap pens and their dead spliffs, like just chatting shit outside the bookies. That's what we are. That's what we are, and that's what hurts, my guy, man. That's what hurts. Big up everybody locked in. 500 odd of you. I really respect it, people. It's ridiculous how many of you are in. I'm probably gonna live stream again. Should we say 5:30-ish? Should we say 5-ish? Let's say 5-ish. Anytime from 5 until 6. You know, I'm good for that. You make sure you check out the community tab. I'll get that one going for you guys, people. I'll get that one going. I'll be streaming again at 5. I'm not going yet, but we'll be streaming again. I'll stream again at 5 or something like that for you guys. Maybe a bit later if there's more to talk about, because you know I know a lot of you have got a lot to say. You know, I can't blame you for being shook, Jaden. If you think we're genuinely going to get relegated, I cannot blame you. Really, come on, man. It's a madness. It's a madness. What do you say? Wait for man to finish work. So what time is good for you guys, man? He's just selling dreams, man. He's always just coming out and chatting crap about it, man. Always just coming out and chatting crap. I fear if we lose Europa, we won't be an attractive proposition anymore. Money talks, man. Like, why the hell would Partey sign for this thing? Like, why the hell would Aubameyang sign a new deal? I think every team in the Prem can attract players. Money talks. You can, you know, we've got to play on the London aspect, but I fully agree, man. To be honest, we don't even. Obviously, we need world class players. We need top players, but right now, we need competent players, and to attract you know, do you necessarily have to go for them top targets? We need people that are competent, consistent, and confident. The 3 C's. Very few players reflect that. You know, Bellerin's had some good games this season. He's had some trash ones. He's not competent in defense. So how can he be consistent? And he's not confident because he curls into a ball. Everyone's on to me about doing watch-alongs for other teams. It might be something I consider, but yeah, man. Hey, man, Zimbabwe, you got to allow me. I got my own life to live, you know. I got my own personal stuff to deal with. So I'll see what I can do, man. I'll see what I can do. What else are you lot saying? Big up everybody locked in. Please make sure. Thoughts on fans booing the players taking the knees? Fucking idiots. I hear when people say they don't agree with the organization, they agree with the message, but that is just the message, you know. There's no Black Lives Matter spokesman at Millwall, you know. There's no one there. It's a simple message, you know. Don't agree with racism. Why are you out here talking? And to a degree, you know, it's a case of everyone's lives matter. It's too many ignorant people want to assume it means Black lives are more important than anyone else. That's absolute nonsense, you know. It's absolute nonsense. And I'm not actually a big fan of this whole kneeling before games and doing this, because for me personally, it's just one of those many things. Not that it's the act, but it's many of these feel-good do-nothings, because we do that, we go on what he said. It's nonsense. And may Millwall get relegated, may everything bad happen to that football club, may that football club one day go into administration. It was disgraceful. Big up Derby for beating them, big up Wayne Rooney for his opinions. It's just more ignorance, and they can all suck themselves really and truly. You know, it tells you everything. Imagine waiting all them months to boo your players. And the black players at Millwall, because I speak to a couple ones that are in the academy and I see the experienced ones on the TV, how do they feel? And that should serve as a reminder that you're just seen as another N-word. You're not seen as nothing to them, man, there. You're not. You know, there's probably hella racist fans of all clubs that could probably love black players and just still not allow them to. But let's move away from that. That was some nonsense. Bing Bong has said, who would you take as a manager if Arteta eventually gets the sack? It's a difficult one. Because I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. Because if we get rid of, we've tried the experienced one with Emery, we've tried the young one with Arteta. Regardless whether they go for a young manager or an experienced man that's been around the block, I think it's going to be more of the same because they're not going to be backed properly. Look at Jose Mourinho, one of the best windows Spurs have had. You might be able to get at the players, but every area was addressed. They needed a midfielder. They grabbed it. Right back, grabbed it. Striker, grabbed it. Centre half, grabbed it. You know, he can't complain. He's got them playing well right now. If it messes up, he can't complain. You know, no one is going to be helped. That's why Carlo said, F this. Why am I going to? I'm Carlo. I've managed Real Madrid. I've managed AC Milan. I've done all these sort of things. I'm not coming to Arsenal at this point in my life now for you lot to tell me I can't buy a defender. Fuck it. I might as well go Everton, where there isn't too much ambition and scrutiny and I can do my thing. Jose said, F that. Jose was whoring himself out for both North London clubs. Didn't go for him. And I'm not saying that's the bad decision. I'm just saying it doesn't really, at this moment, I don't think it matters who we get. I don't think it matters whether we get a young manager. I don't matter whether it gets an experienced one because they're not going to be backed. Not going to be backed. I think Marco Rose is 30, very 30 manager. I wouldn't mind him at all. But I don't think it matters who the manager is. It's just going to be dead. You know, you're allowed your opinion, Bobby, and I can't, you know, you're allowed to see that, man. You're allowed to say that. If that you can only comment on what you see. If you see a lack of certain things, you're gonna talk your thing, and that's it. That's literally it. What more you want to see in Ize's game? I'm not too sure. Are you talking about Palace's Ize? Just play to greater consistency and grab more goals and assists. Shauna said, love from South Africa. Can't handle watching my team deteriorate like this anymore, DG. Something has to change. For me, bro, I was like that, but now I just accept it, Carl. What can I change? It's got to the point where if I allow Arsenal to make me angry, I'm to blame now because I know these guys are not on it. I'm putting my emotional heartstrings on the field and they're letting me down. So it's like I need to remove it. Nothing's going to change. I badly want the Kroenkes out. Badly want things to change. But what can we change? I don't have the answers. If someone provides a legit answer, I'll get behind it as much as I can, you know? Bro, Bellerin needs to go work in a hairdressers or go Urban Outfitters or something, man. And you know what Bellerin's thing is? Bellerin's thing is you see the chunks thing. How you see chunks on Soccer AM and that. That's Bellerin's thing now. Bellerin needs to do Soccer AM, social Saturday, whatever they call it. All of these sort of things. Like Bellerin should be doing Live Nation with Nick Bright or whoever it is. That's Bellerin's thing because he's not showing me he's on being a footballer. He's not, or you don't do these things. You don't. Money can be a motivation, you know. I've had spoken to players and done interviews. Money can motivate, but it all depends. You know, money's not everything. You need for money to motivate you, you need to be a hungry individual. These players are not hungry. They're not hungry. They're just happy to be here. They're just winging it. They don't want to create their own little bit of destiny. They don't want to cement a legacy in their own individual ways. So it's crazy. You're right. Millwall's dead, and hopefully they get relegated. Shit club, man. Twats. That's why we big up the West Ham man them even more. Big up the Millwall fans that aren't twats though. Bro, we can't get relegated, but the way we're playing, I can't blame people for thinking it's a real possibility. I do think Bielsa's record with youth players is overstated, but fair. It's true, you can be average. Not everyone has to be world class. You just have to be competent, man. Players are too comfy, man. Too comfy. You never get the vibe that football is the main thing. It's all other things. To be fair, Arteta's resigning tomorrow. It's not going to solve anything, man. And like Zimbabwe said, you know, sometimes this is it. This is why I don't get vexed. Try not to get vexed. You know, you just have to accept it, bro. What can I change, bro? I could turn up at the Emirates today. What's going to happen? I ain't going to get no conversation with him. All I'm doing is supporting my team, AFC and I'm supporting myself now. I'm not involved in anything now, man, Carl. I'm just going to keep making my videos, keep talking about Arsenal opinions, but that's where it ends, man. That's where it ends, Carl. I'm putting too much emotion on the line, or I have put so much emotion on the line. You know, again, for me, listen, Poch could have done a Mazza, but it's going to be the same thing. And why, if I'm Poch, you don't want to come to Arsenal. Why? What are Arsenal going to give you to at least make it worth it to damage all your ties you've got with Spurs? They're not going to make it worthwhile. You're going to be in the same situation you was. It's a Mazza. You know, and we might need to. We need 40 points. That's something to consider still. He does micromanages way too much, and it's crazy, man. I don't think Tierney's. I hear you. Maybe he is. I think he's demanded too much of Tierney, but I think Tierney was good yesterday still. But probably free Ozil. To be fair, it's not gonna make a difference. Man said Bellerin should get in handbags. That's it. Please hit the like button. Get the like buttons up, people. Hit the like buttons. This is the first of 2 live streams. Don't want to promise it, but I probably will be live streaming tomorrow. You know, for good point. Good point. Look in Germany. You know, that's it. That's it. And I agree with that, Adrian. He needs to take responsibility. But what we can't also, I agree with you. Players need to take accountability. You know, in life, I'm of the opinion, I blame everything on myself because that helps you to grow. That doesn't mean that I feel I've caused everything. That doesn't mean other people haven't played a factor in it. But that fundamentally means I look for things that I could have done better along the road. What could I have done to prevent that? And that's what Aubameyang needs to look at. We know he's dying because there's no creativity for him. There's no creative players. But at the same time, he's got to show more. He's got to show more. And I understand it. And for me, his agent should shut his mouth, of course. But I can't blame them for being frustrated, really and truly. You know, because as crap as Aubameyang's been this season, at least for a number of years, he's been scoring. Other man, them ain't been on nothing. Alex, I back Arteta more than the people above him. I back Arteta more than the players. For me, I think Arteta can do good, but I'm not Arteta in or out. You know, I'm giving you the benefit of not the benefit of the doubt. I'm holding you accountable to what I held. I don't think it's the time to sack you. But if this continues and things happen, like I said this on the Emre, there'll be a time I'll say, yo, listen, keep it moving. I support Arsenal Football Club. I don't want us to become a yo-yo club, my guy. I want us to get it right with a manager and have a manager that reflects it. But it's just it's collective kalam. I think he can. You know, the way he talks suggests to me that he feels crippled, but there's a lot of problems here, bro. There's a lot of problems. I think he can, but man, them all got to sing from the same hymn sheet. We can't do this Mighty Ducks thing and thinking that this manager is going to win us a league title because a Leicester City thing is going to happen. Man need to move collectively together, and we're not doing that. It's not serious. Come on, hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. It doesn't mean a thing. I just answered that. I said I like the look of him. Thank you very much. I can only be myself, my guy. I can't do anything else. Rion, like you said, same old story. It's the same old story, to be fair, but the manager needs to go, keeps picking the same players who's letting him down. You can't loan out Guendouzi and play Xhaka. William plays well, can't even get a game. Bro, I don't understand none of this. Don't understand none of it. It is a robot FC. That's it. I wouldn't say great, but I don't think Holding was poor like that yesterday. I do agree with this comment by Lamine. Big up yourself, Lamine. It's just a Mazzolini, people, really and truly. Like it really is. It's just poor. It's just like I said. There's no hiding place. You can pretend, you can fool some of the people some of the time. You can't fool us all the time, people. And these mistakes will be picked up on. You will see them. So what else are you saying? Didn't say he's getting it in the rights in one season, but what we should see is building blocks. Very early on, we saw an improvement defensively. You need to show me a DNA or a way of playing so I can say, cool, you get better midfielders, you get better this and that, it's going to improve. Arteta isn't getting the best out of his tools to say that. And that's it. That's it. Facts. Bro, I'd probably play him left wing and go Lacazette through the middle. I think Lacazette deserves to start, but my feeling will probably change as we get closer to the game. This story here, we'll speak about that in the evening. We'll speak about that one in the evening there. So make sure I'll give you lot something to miss me. Make sure you're there, waiting for me. You know, we're coming again in the evening time. Make sure you're there. But yeah, let me get through a couple more questions before I keep it moving. Bro, you know what my mother used to tell me growing up? A promise is a comfort to a fool. And that tells you everything about promises, Adrian. Promises are an idiot thing. Bro, United fans running bants. You know, Ozil ain't gonna make no difference, but you know, there's no justification to be keeping him out of the team. You can't tell me Ozil's not doing these non-negotiables and the rest are. You can't really say Aubameyang doesn't work through the middle if he scored a hell amount of goals there. you know, and he scores goals on the left. We could talk about the hold-up play. I just don't think when you have got a striker like Aubameyang, he's not like Kane. You know, he's going to need a lot of service. You're going to need to hit the ball in behind to him. We're not going to play to his strengths, and he's quite limited in what he offers generally in a full package as a striker. So that's why we're in this. We buy players, we don't know how to use them, or we try and reinvent the wheel. It's crazy, man. This is it, and this is why you can't just say one thing. You know, where's the system, or the foundations, or the building blocks that we wish to sustain ourselves on? It's not there. You know, Yardman, you're allowed to back or not back whoever you want. You know, you can do what you want. Moderators, please pattern up. Please pattern up. If there's any racism and any ignorance, please pattern that up. We're not here for that. Bro, Evan, you tell me. You tell me, because I'll probably get into Fulham, but that's about it. It'll be part of the calamities. They should act immediately, but they're not going to do anything. You know, forget the manager. I'm not saying that to absolve Arteta of any blame, but it's like any manager could come in here. You're not backing them. You look at that squad. You need a centre half, another one. You know, if Saliba's not going to play, potentially need a backup left back. You definitely need a right back, or something needs to get done there. We need to deal with what we need to deal with in that regards. Midfield, you probably need 2 midfielders. You know, I would probably even bring in another striker to play through the middle, really and truly. We'll have to see. They're dead, you know. And Greece is 30. To be fair, he rebuilt himself. But that's it. Listen, just let Xhaka leave, man. Just Xhaka, please go to Basel or something, man. The thing is, I don't think Xhaka is as bad as people make out. I don't think he's always bad. I do think he gets scapegoated to a degree, but he's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. Just not good enough. Mason Greenwood go. I don't know, bro. It's a politics thing. I believe managers should be able to use the squad in any way they want, but at the same time, it's playing favourites. Nelson, with his little opportunities, he's not playing amazing, but he's taking his chances. Regardless of how William plays, he's still playing. And, you know, and he's got a 3-year deal. What sort of hunger does he have in his game now? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. Bro, he's part of the calamities, man. Like, bare play. When I look at this team, the only words I keep saying is calamities. That is crazy, man. We just do nonsense. Bro, with his injury record and the big injury he's just taken, he's a positive player. But no, let's stay away from that. And that's it. That's what I mean. We've seen the good, bad, and the ugly of Arteta. Like I said, he's not a bad manager. He's shown some good things. So that's why I'm looking at him now, because I'm saying, yo, you set some decent standards. Why are you not living by them? You have to live and die by your own standards. Do you get it? So I do think Arteta is making things harder than he needs to be. I do think there's concerns, but I do think he could do. I'm not saying he can win league titles and stuff. I do think there's more to come from him. Again, the longer this form continues, then it is what it is. But I back Arsenal. We don't have to ride or die with Arteta. If he goes, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry. But it's like you said, man, they're not doing right by him. But you can't just blame the players. You can't just blame the manager. You can't just blame the people above. Collectively, everyone needs to sing from the same hymn sheet. I think we do. I personally think we do. If we could find someone in the mid-age range, I would like to see primarily Gabriel Saliba and this new guy come in. Marie would be part of it and make the 4th. I don't mind if Holding or Chambers stays, but one of them could be moved on. You know, Marie as well looks like he's going to be a squad player. Mavropanos, I don't know what we're going to look at. Probably have to keep Chambers and Holding for the rebuild. I would definitely look at a centre half. I don't think Marie is going to be good enough. I really don't. I'm ready to stand by that. I think he's going to be a decent squad player, but he's shown me to say that you're not going to be levels like that. And there's got to be a reason, despite his injuries, he's not being thrown in. If is Troops really doing that? I mean, he's big up Troops. He's allowed to do what he needs to do, but I'm not going to comment on that. I think that's a bit distasteful, but it's not my money. It's not my thing. Let him do what he wants, and it's nothing to do with me. Focus on what I'm doing here, innit? I would like both of them. Daniel Marlon used to be an Arsenal player, and I do like Edouard. He does need to be more clinical with some of the chances, but it is what it is. I think Xhaka would struggle to even play in Italy. A lot of people say that. I think he'd even struggle because of this intelligence thing. We just need a competent centre-half, my bro. We just need a competent centre-half. Bro, he ain't coming to us. If he is, he's coming for a pay. Why would you come to Arsenal? If you're going to jump in a Prem team, you might as well go to United for the finances. London, that you can get the London atmosphere. But if Chelsea come in for you, there's also City. You know, Chelsea went for Thiago Silva. They could go for Alaba. You can play in a number of roles. That could be something. You're not gonna want to come to Arsenal, man. Bro, it's not even mercenaries, bro. We're signing past it players, bro. Like, we're signing Czech on a match. Czech was a model professional. I don't think he was as bad as he made out, but we can't be surprised as to what happened. Willian is just Willian. Less said on my man, the better. David Luiz hasn't been as bad as I thought, but again, can we be surprised when he's done the same old nonsense? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's very crazy. Bro, as they should. As they should. And that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. Biggest problem, bro. Bruno. Do you know what? One thing I'll give Bruno Fernandes is he makes the difference. Whether I know a lot's made about him playing poor and scoring, but you know, that's the mark of a good player. We don't have guys that are bumming it like that. Please stop spamming Brian, kids. I see your message. I've put it up. It's not that deep. And now you've been blocked. So it didn't get you anywhere, did it? It really didn't get you anywhere with that stupidness. Please be sensible. It doesn't cost a thing to be sensible. You're wasting your mother's internet at 12:51 to spam and be silly. Please don't ruin the intellectual conversation we have here. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button as usual. Couple more questions. Get them questions in. Yo, my guy, Ollie, what you saying? M is killing me. Certain people won't get that. We're Care Home. We're Easy Ride FC. We're just... I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. We're just... You never get the vibe that we're a football club. We're not a football club. We're not trying to be a football club. We hide behind the values of Arsenal, winning through harmony and all that BS. I don't want him to get sacked. Even the fact I don't want him to get sacked. Even though I don't rate Bellerin and Xhaka and Willian, I don't want them to play bad. It's in my best interest if everyone fixes up. You know, I don't want us to become a selling club and well, we are a selling club, but revolving door club is what I meant to say. But I don't care about Arteta like that. In a healthy way, I respect him as a manager. He's Arsenal's manager. He has my support like any manager until the end. But I support Arsenal. It's not like Wenger. I had an allegiance to Wenger as well. It's a bit harder because, you know, Wenger is Wenger. Arteta isn't a guy. He weren't a mad player for Arsenal like that. You know, it's what it is with him, people. You know? And if you want him out, I can't blame you because you can't protect it. You know, project, I say 20 years. Every year there's a project, man. The Ox ting, the Theo ting, the Alexis and Ozil. Now we've got Eddie and Nelson and them and there. There's going to be another project. We just love the BS, man. Love the BS. Bro, you said it. I feel worn out. I feel drained. I feel defeated is the right word. I feel gutless. Like there's nothing there. Like, you said it, man. There's nothing more. I don't know. I do think they must have told Maitland now some little white lies because he seemed adamant that he was leaving the club and he's now staying. So he must have been told some little white lies, and ultimately you're not being shown that. I like him a lot, but the jury's still out for me personally. Bro, of course I can imagine losing to Burnley next week. We've been losing every game. Sean Dyche is probably looking at it like, yo, boys, we're getting 3 points. You know? Tiger, I've got a video coming out on Ivan Toney. I think Tony, Armstrong, and is it Wilkes of Fulham? They're players that could get moves. I'm not saying they're world class or anything, but yeah, Bellerin is a problem. He's consistently doing that. You know, I don't think it's just Bellerin, you know, but he is hot and cold. Even on his good days against Sheffield, he was poor in second half. He looked like Dani Alves. I do think he's scapegoated in the same way Xhaka is at times, but he's part of the problem. Bellerin is the perfect person to sum it up. He's not kicked on. He's not, you know, he's not playing better from how he was 18 to 25. In fact, he's probably got worse. He used to go forward and do several things. He's not solid defensively. He's not like a modern day fullback going forward. He's inconsistent. You know, he's pretty frail in terms of defending on the transition. Bellerin is part of the problem. Bellerin, Xhaka, Willian, you know, every player more or less in this team. You know, how many players can go on and play for other top clubs? It's crazy. You can't bring him back. It doesn't matter. You know, he's there in January. And I think Guendouzi's career here is done personally. He's contracted until 2022. Are we going to make him sign a new deal? Next summer, he will come back with that. You know, and I'll give Xhaka that. Xhaka made some fouls and he made some tactical fouls as well. Yeah, he did. But what else did he bring to the table? You know, I don't know about 4 or 5 attacks. Xhaka was pouring off the pace. This is what I mean by playing favourites. You've got to call a spade, man. Like, he can do all of that. But when it was crunch time, and it's not just him again, where was the other players on the counters? Where was the midfield? So all stopping 4 or 5 means nothing to me because they scored 2 goals. You know, we had hell of a tension and he didn't do nothing. I think he was lucky to play 90. You have your opinion, but come on now. Fix up a bit, bro. Shell of a club, bro. Big up yourself for subscribing, my G. Bro, I'm not remaining positive. I'm not negative. It just is what it is. I just call it as I see it. I always get you're too positive, you're too negative. I say what I see. If Arsenal play a blinder, I'll say they played a blinder. If they played poor, they played poor. I think that's the problem with fans. When there's so much emotion in this thing, you can't see things for what they are. You know, I've seen it already. Man, I just backing Xhaka, just backing Bellerin, just backing Arteta, just getting at Arteta, just getting at the players. That's not how you look at things. Robin, that is very depressing. And again, I want that to happen. Not because I want Arsenal to trickle down. I want these players to feel ashamed of themselves. Because if they don't feel shame now, they never will. And I don't think they will. You can say that, but I mean, Arteta can and should have a better DNA. He should be getting more of his tools out. You know, we can't just lamb-blast this because man weren't saying that when he won the FA Cup. Man weren't saying that going into this season. We knew that he needed to be back to his, of course, getting at the board. But Dons weren't saying that. Like, the language can't just switch up. Can't just switch up like that. You know, it can't just switch up. My question is, what makes think that Arteta would do better with better players? Bro, this is it. You know, this is why I just said you can't just scream the players, because Arteta is not showing a system right now to say, cool, you get competent players, you play a lot better. It's not that. It really isn't. I'm not going to lie. I do think Arteta might be a bit like Pep, and not comparing them in the sense of if they're not working with elite players, they're a bit rubby. But like you said, you know, like you said there isn't any hardcore evidence. I just feel with more competent players, I'd say before we talk about the technical level, the mentality, it'll be a bit different. But like you said, Alpha Pappy, bro, like there's, it's facts, man. Bro, it don't matter, bro. It really doesn't matter, man. Bro, do you see what you just said? You said ifs, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna say but. Ifs and buts don't win football matches. We can deal with the facts, you know. Bellerin doesn't know how to take a proper throw, and you can't tell me again. I don't advocate scapegoating, but that man has made 5 foul throws out of the 16 in the Premier League. So what does that tell you, man? You know, I don't think any man could turn this squad around where it is what it is. You know. That's it. He's only good at arm's reach. He does make some smart fouls, but it's not enough, you know. But Xhaka's the good things Xhaka allegedly does are not counteracted. The bad things aren't counteracted by the good things. The pros that Xhaka comes with don't outbalance the cons. There's more cons than pros, sort of thing. I'm not too sure about that. I think Arteta takes responsibility, blames himself half the time, apart from the occasional blaming Pepe and these sort of things. But yeah, man. Because he's shit. The system obviously helps him a bit, but you know, it comes down to that. But Xhaka, I'm not being funny. Xhaka's been here for five thingies. You know, he's been here for 3-4 years, and we're saying the same old thing. So it's irrelevant. Yardman, I think you've got me mistaken. I said we should be targeting an X amount of points and we'd probably get one. And lo and behold, what's happened? I think you're talking about Curtis Shaw TV's channel with on his show. Please, if you're gonna quote me, please quote me properly. Kieran, I feel upset, bro, because I can't, bro. It's not gonna. I can't tell you that. I'd be a liar and I'd lose my credibility with you lot because I don't sit here and cap and lie to you guys. I hope it gets better. I don't see anything to evidently suggest that. Of course, going on a run of form and things like that, it changes things. You know, I do think we're scraping the bottom of the barrel when we're saying Xhaka is doing good things for this club. I don't believe in scapegoating, but boy, bro, it's a bit of a mazza, don't you lot think? It's a bit of a mazza. This is it. You know, I don't think Xhaka should be doing the box to box. I don't think Xhaka is good enough in a pivot alone. Like you see, I don't think Xhaka is disciplined enough. And Xhaka is probably 27 years of age. Oh, Xhaka's out here getting trolled by Augsburg. You know, he's 28. You know, he's 28. You know, Willian is 32. Some of these players, if you've been playing football to this degree, yeah, you're not going to learn. You know, these are not inexperienced young players. Some of these players have probably been making these mistakes for years. What I will say with Xhaka, maybe at other teams, because of the coaching and the players, you can hide his his deficiencies. And evidently at Arsenal, you can't hide nobody, so that might be it. You know, Xhaka isn't my cup of tea. I don't think he's as bad as man make him out. I think he's all right in terms of being a squad player, but that's about it. And that's it. We're not playing to his strengths. I think Aubameyang needs to pull it out, but we're not playing to his strengths either. To be fair, that could be said about a lot of guys, people, but that is facts. That is facts. I'm going to get out of here, folks, people. It's been a lovely being with you lot, but I'm going to have to love and leave you lot. I'm going to be back this evening, probably let's say around 5. I'll set it up and set the info up, people, but please make sure you're paying attention to the community tab. Give me some topics to speak about for then, and I'll be back then. I'll catch you lot in the evening. But yeah, man, you lot have helped me get some stress off my brain real quick, so thank you for that. Please make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Please make sure you're subscribed. Please make sure you're subscribed on Twitch. Yeah, people, please make sure, you know, when this video processes, you comment some things you want me to touch upon in the next live stream. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much. As usual, thank you to my members as well. Make sure you're checking out the membership page. Big up Daniel Costa. And he said Hector Bellerin repeatedly making foul throws shows me the mentality I don't want in the squad. Can't add a damn thing, you know. I apologize, Wayne. We've been here, man. We've been here, man. We've been here. What? I need to, before I go, you're so apologetic when you criticize Xhaka, Bellerin, Arteta, but so hesitant when you praise Maitland-Niles. Make up your mind. Get the fuck out of here, mate. What are you talking about? Like, I praise Maitland-Niles to the high heavens. What are you talking about, man? James, go and watch Pornhub or something, because you're clearly frustrated just chatting shit, man. 5 p.m., you know, 5 p.m. Let's say 5 p.m. by the latest 5:30. Just make sure you're checking the community tabs. Make sure you're checking over my socials. I apologize, Wayne, once again, but I'm there. Big up Miles. You know, you've been gracious in victory. You've given it to me, but you ain't taking it too tough. I'm all right, man. We move in it. We have to deal with the result. It happens. You know, you can't look backwards in life. You have to move forward. So it is what it is. Stay blessed, everyone. You know, make sure you drop a like. Big up all the members as well as usual. So yeah, man, I appreciate it all, man. I have not got 10K on Instagram yet, but we're moving. Take care, everybody. And yeah, I'll be back, man. Big up everybody here. Yeah, James is chatting shit, but he's allowed to do what he wants. We're all allowed opinions. But on that note, people, DG.